Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girbharadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girbharadari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girbharadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girbharadari Jaisacinandana Braja Janaranjana Jaisacinandana Braja Janaranjana Jaisacinandana Braja Janaranjana Jaisacinandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanacharim Jamuna Tira Vanacharim Jamuna Tira Vanacharim Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Go Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Go Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Go Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radhe Jaya. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare. Nectar go Haribo, 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 God Haribo, Nectar go. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya. Go Premanandi, Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa Parivrajikacharya Stotra Sri Samad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavan Ki, Shri Shri Radhanath ki, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki, Shri Gaurangama Prabhu Gaur Hari ki, Karisi Vrat ki, Nectar of Instruction ki, Shri Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhaktivedanta Purports ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So thank you for attending today's morning class. Now the weather is very challenging, but you braved the weather. Sudden drop in temperature, but thank you for being here. So today we'll read from text 10, continuing with the Nectar of Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'll read the verse and then the word for word and the purport. Karmi biya parito hari priyataya vivaktum yahur jnanina tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastata tebhyasta pashupala pankajadrisha tabhyo pisaradika presta tadvadiham tadiya sarasi damnashrayet ka kriti. Word for word. Karma biha, then all fruitive workers. Parita, in all respects. Are, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Priyataya, because of being favored. Vyaktimyayu, it is said in the Shastra. Jnanina, those advanced in knowledge. Tebhya, superior to them. Jnana vimukta, liberated by knowledge. Bhakti parama, those engaged in devotional service. Prema eka nishta, those who have attained pure love of God. Tata, superior to them. Tebhya, better than them. Ta, they. Pashupala pankaja. Drisha, the gopis were always dependent on Krishna, the cowherd boy. Tabhya, above all of them. Api, certainly. Sa, she. Radhika, Srimati Radhika. Preshta, very dear. Tadvat, similarly. Iham, thus. Tadyasarasi, a lake. Sri Radhakund. Tam, Radhakund. Na, not. Ashrayet, would take shelter of. Ka, who. Kriti, most fortunate. Purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta. Translation and purport. In the Shastra it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord, Ari. Are there many such people who are advanced in knowledge, Gyanis? One who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all of the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. A Kund lake is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radha Kund and in his spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, apakrita render loving service to the divine couple Sri Radha Govinda, who perform the Astakalya Leela, the eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kund are the most fortunate people in the universe. Very, very instructive by Rupa Goswami, glorifying the exalted position of the gopis and Srimati Radharani. It's a long purport, but I'm going to read some of it. This is by Rishabdev, King Rishabdev, from the 5th canto. Prabhupada quotes here. Nunam pramata kurute vikarma yadindriya pritaya aprinoti nasadu manyayata atmanoyam asanapi kleshada asadeha. The translation: materialists to work hard like dogs and hogs simply for sense gratification are actually mad. They simply perform all kinds of abominable activities simply for sense gratification. Materialistic activities are not at all worthy of an intelligent man. But as a result of such activities, one gets a material body which is full of misery. Srila Prabhupada says, the purpose of human life is to get out of the threefold miserable conditions, which are concomitant with material existence. Unfortunately, fruitive workers are mad to earn money and acquire temporary material comforts by all means. Therefore, they risk being degraded to lower species of life. Materialists foolishly make many plans to become happy in this material world. They do not stop to consider that they will live only for a certain number of years, out of which they must spend a major portion acquiring money for sense gratification. Ultimately, such activities end in death. Materialists do not consider that after giving up the body, they may become embodied as lower animals, plants, or trees. Thus, all the activities simply defeat the purpose of life. Not only are they born ignorant, but they act on the platform of ignorance, thinking that they are getting material benefits in the shape of skyscraper buildings, big cars, honorable positions, and so on. The materialists do not know that in the next life they will be degraded and all of their activities simply serve as harabhava, their defeat. This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam 555. Parabhavas tavad abodha jataha. One should therefore to be eager to understand the science of the soul, Atma Tattva. Unless one comes to the platform of Atma Tattva, by which one understands that the soul and the body is oneself, one remains on the platform of ignorance. Out of thousands and even millions of ignorant people who are wasting their time simply gratifying the senses, one may come to the platform of knowledge and understand higher values of life. Such a person is called a jnani. A jnani knows the fruitive activities will bind him to material existence and cause him to transmigrate from one kind of body to another, as indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by the term sarira bandha, bound to bodily existence. As long as one maintains any conception of sense enjoyment, his mind will be absorbed in karma, fruitive activity, and this will oblige him to transmigrate from one body to another. Thus, a jnani is considered superior to a karmi because he is at least restrained from the blind activities of sense enjoyment. This is the verdict of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, a jnani may be liberated from the ignorance of the karmis, unless he comes to the platform of devotional service, he is still considered to be in ignorance, avidya. Although one may be accepted as a jnani or one advanced in knowledge, his knowledge is considered impure because he has no information of devotional service. and thus neglects the direct worship of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When a jnani takes to devotional service, he rapidly becomes superior to an ordinary jnani. Such an advanced person is described as jnana vimukta bhakti parama. How a jnani takes a devotional service is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 7:19, wherein Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam mante jnanavam mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samatma sudu labaha. After many births and deaths, he was actually in knowledge, surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. After taking to devotional service under the regular principles, a person may come to the platform of spontaneous love of Godhead, following in the footsteps of great devotees like Narada and Sanaka and Sanatana. The Supreme Person of Godhead then recognizes him to be superior. The devotees who have a developed love of Godhead are certainly in an exalted position. Out of these devotees, the gopis are recognized as superior because they do not know anything other than satisfying Krishna. Nor do the gopis expect any return from Krishna. Indeed, sometimes Krishna puts them into extreme suffering by separating himself from them. Nonetheless, they cannot forget Krishna. When Krishna left Vrindavan for Mathura, the gopis became most dejected and spent the rest of their lives simply crying in separation from Krishna. This means that in one sense, they were never actually separated from Krishna. There is no difference between thinking of Krishna and associating with him. Rather, Vipralamba Seva, thinking of Krishna in separation, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, is far better than serving Krishna directly. Thus, all the devotees who have developed unalloyed devotional love for Krishna, the gopis are most exalted. And out of all these exalted gopis, Srimati Radharani is the highest. No one can excel devotional service of Srimati Radharani. Indeed, even Krishna cannot understand the attitude of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he took a position and appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to understand her transcendental feelings. In this way, Srila Rupa Goswami gradually concludes that Srimati Radharani is the most exalted devotee of Krishna, and that a kund, a lake, Sri Radhakund, is the most exalted place. This is verified in a quotation from Laghu Bhagavat Amrita, Uttarakhanda 45, as quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yata Radha Priya Vishnus Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata Sarva Gopishu Saveka Vishnu Atyanta Vallabha. Just as Srimati Radharani is dear to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, Vishnu, so a bathing place, Radhakund, is equally dear to Krishna. Among all the gopis, she alone stands supreme as the Lord's most beloved. Therefore, everyone interested in Krishna consciousness should ultimately take shelter of Radhakund and execute devotional service there throughout one's life. This is the conclusion of Rupa Goswami in the 10th verse of Upadeshamrita. Jai Sri Sri Radharanath ki, Sri Giriraj Govardhan ki, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Gaur Hari ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Go Premanandi. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumulitam Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Hanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Haripriye, Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavabhyo, Namo Namaha, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'll read the translation of the verse. In the Shastra, it is said that all types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life, is favored by the Supreme Lord, Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, Gyanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gop is exalted above all of the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental coward boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is most dear to Krishna. A Kund lake is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radhakund and in his spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrita bhav, render loving service to the divine couple, Sri Radha Govinda, who perform the Astakalya Leela, the eternal eightfold daily pastime. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radhakund are the most fortunate people in the universe. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, Sri Rupa Goswami quotes a verse, says, Atasi Krishna Namadhi, Na Bhavad Grahayam Indrihai, Savan Mukhe Jivadu, Swayameva Spruyat Yadaha. One can understand Krishna as he is, no one can understand Krishna as he is by the blunt material senses. But he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him. And in Bhagavad Gita, in the 18th chapter, Krishna says, Bhaktyaham abhijanati yavam yaschasmi tatpataha tato mam tatpato gyatva vishate tat anantaram. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personal Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So, the Supreme Personal Godhead, Sri Krishna, throughout Bhagavad Gita, he stresses on this point of ultimately, although he speaks of so many subject matters, different types of yoga, different types of activities, different types of Sankhya yoga, fruitive activities, karma yoga. But ultimately, he stresses the point of, like he says, of all yoginam api sarvesham. Of all yogis, one who abides by me with faith is greater than all the other types of the yogis, the jnana yogi, the karma yogi, like that, or the mystic yogi, one who is surrendered to me with faith. He is the topmost. And here again he emphasized that point in the 18th chapter. Only by devotional service can I be understood. So it's not about being erudite scholars or academic scholars uh, or big students of Bhagavad Gita. Still, if we don't have that tinge of devotion, we will never understand uh, the Supreme. We will never. We'll always be eluding, like the Gyanis. And of course, the Gyanis, by some good fortune, they will come to Krishna by engaging in, by the realization and association with pure devotees. They can also, what to speak of the karmis, they can also attain pure love of God, as long as they give up uh, the material life. Of course, we all can relate to that because we all coming from such fruitive backgrounds, different types of, we all some way we're searching for the absolute truth, and finally we've come by the mercy of the great acharyas like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, our parampara, Srila Prabhupada, and our present spiritual masters. We've by their mercy we've come somehow develop some tinge of devotion, and somehow we've been attracted by this beautiful process of Krishna consciousness, and thus we've purified. We become purified. Gradual purification is there all the time. We can see this tangible changes, from the time we came to Krishna consciousness to the time right now. We've we've developed some taste, some ruchi, some taste is there, and how it all starts by the process of Vaidhi, because Vaidhi Bhakti means it has to be done. These regulative principles of developing, ultimately coming to the process of devotional service. We've developed that by constant practice, sadhana bhakti. We all actually sadhikas. We are practicing to come to that platform of not that we will imitate the gopis, imitate Mother Yasoda or the Vrajavasis. No. But we can emulate in so many ways, following the footsteps, by developing Krishna Prem and coming to that platform of spontaneous attraction for Krishna, for the Supreme Radha and Krishna. Yeah, so it's not by mental speculation. Rupa Goswami sets the very high standard in the Nectar of what is pure devotional service. Anya bila sita sunyam jnana karmaryan abritam anukulyena Krishna anusilam bhakti uttama. It's the topmost devotional service. Is devoid of fruitive activity, mental speculation, and all other kinds of yoga practice or mechanical process of yoga. It must be done favorably, anukul, as Krishna desires. As Krishna desires, anukul, anukulyena, Krishna anushilam, and those things that are related to Krishna. So this is the definition of that. Then he gives another definition also. Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tat paridvaina nirmalam. Rishikesha rishikena bhakti uchate. Sarva upadi. Upadi means designations. Sarva, all types of designations. And we have to become nirmalam, cleansed. Gradually you must be cleansed of all these. As Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays, wonderful prayers, He says, I'm not a brahmachari, I'm not a householder, I'm not a vanaprastha, I'm not a sannyasi, I'm not a brahman, I'm not a kshatriya, vaishya, sudra. Then what I am? I am a servant, das, anudas. I'm a servant of the servant of the servant, following in the footsteps of the gopis of Rajabhumi. So we have to follow like that. Das, anudas. And the gopis were very simple. They weren't very scholarly in studying. No, they were very simple village girls. But their devotion was unparalleled. The devotion and surrender to Krishna is still unparalleled. Therefore, they are glorified here because of the surrender to Krishna, unconditional surrender. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying in the whether you embrace me or whether you reject me, it doesn't matter. Whether you embrace me or you reject me, my love for you is unconditional. So this was the mood of the gopis also. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared for that purpose, to express that in the form of in the garb of a devotee. He came to experience that and to teach us the highest service. There's two types. There's Vipralamba and there's Sambhog, meeting and separation. Meeting and Vipralamba. He says of both, Vipralamba is considered higher. Service in separation. And so it said, Krishna put them through so much of anxiety and suffering by not being there in their presence, but still they were always thinking of him. So it's not different. Krishna never actually left Vrindavan. Already said at some point he went, but Krishna always remains in Vrindavan through the process of service in separation. So likewise also we are serving in separation from our. Sometimes we don't see our spiritual masters. They're not so fortunate enough because they may be challenged in so many ways, the distance and traveling, health issues. But nevertheless, we always, in our thoughts, they're always empowering us in our service attitude. And we always meditating on them and praying to them to give us strength so that we can continue every day. Because every day is a challenge, isn't it? Every day. Srila Prabhupada would pray to the deities every day. And one of his disciples asked, Prabhupada, what are you praying for? Prabhupada said, I'm praying that I don't fall down. Of course, Prabhupada, we know, is a Nitya Siddha, is a liberated soul. But just to set as the Acharya, is to set the bar, to set the standard that we have to follow. And pray, yes, every day. Pray to the deities, pray for the mercy, and chant our rounds fixed, in a fixed and very hearing and chanting. And the chanting of Hare Krishna is the most important activity. Apart from other, chanting of Hare Krishna, chanting gives rise to devotionals because we are asking Krishna for service. Why are we chanting? Because we want service. So the extension of your chanting is devotional service. So we develop this chanting, the process of chanting, gradually from offensive chanting, to clearing stage, and then to the stage of pure Sudanam, then our life will be very, very successful. We just have to persevere and pray for the mercy. We all here by mercy. By mercy. Yes. This Kripa, Guru Kripa, mercy of Guru. Krishna Kripa, mercy of the Supreme Lord. That's why we are here. By special mercy. We are here. And we feel indebted. Yes, we are indebted that we cannot repay this debt. We should feel like that. We cannot repay this debt of being liberated from this material pangs of material miseries. Somehow we've come to this oasis, like in a desert, isn't it? Desert is very, very challenging. It is very unfriendly. It is very hot. Yesterday I was hearing there was somewhere 60 degrees in some part of the Middle East. 60 degrees. Can you imagine that? So it's very, very horrid. Very, very miserable. But somehow we come upon an oasis, isn't it? And we dive in and drink the water and cool off. So this Krishna consciousness is like that, isn't it? We've come a long way. We've come for many lifetimes, millions of lifetimes of being incarcerated in material existence, in different bodies, all kinds of bodies. It is said material. Your human life means the culmination of all the species we've been through, and human life is the perfection, because human life means we have more developed consciousness. Our consciousness most developed. We can rationalize what's right, what's wrong. We can understand who we are, where we're going, who is God, what is my relationship with God. This sambandha means understanding our relationship. And all the Vedic religious scriptures deal with these three things. Sambandha, understanding our relationship with the Supreme, with Krishna. Sambandha, abhideya. Abhideya means the process. What is the process? We come to the understanding. Then the process means engaging in bhakti, devotional service. Then prayojan. Prayojan means the goal. And what is the goal? Go back home, back to Godhead. That is the goal. Sambandha, abhideya, prayojan. So the revealed scriptures are giving us this type of knowledge of how to get out of the entanglement of this material. We simply have to take, because we have the intelligence. We have this human form of life. Only in a human form can we do that. The Vedanta Sutra, it explains that Atato Brahma Gigyas. Atato Brahma, Atato means when? Now. Atato Brahma. Therefore, I have this human form of life. And what is the goal of human form of life? Is to make inquiry into the absolute truth. Brahma Gigyas. If we don't, then it's a wasted, futile form of human existence. It's futile. That means, but that disease, we have to go through these motions of suffering. And to add to that, the threefold miseries are there, isn't in the material world. And we had enough. Coming to devotional service, coming to Krishna means we had enough of that. We should think like that. Enough is enough. Now we've come to the point uh, of getting out of the ocean, of nescience, uh, of sailing out. We have the favorable sails. The boat is the human form of life. The favorable sails are the scriptures, that ply the boat forward. The wind, boat needs wind, favorable winds to move it forward. And then we have the captain, the captain of the boat, uh, uh, who is guiding us across this ocean of nescience. So unless we come to that realization, then our life is futile, wasted, wasted life. Um, it means more suffering. And then we don't know, as this Kali Yuga progresses, we can experience what's it like now, and it's only the beginning of Kali Yuga. We barely, just over 5,000 years into Kali Yuga, since Krishna left. Just over 5,000 years. It's only the beginning, and we're seeing the proclivities, the anomalies of this age already. What's going to happen? Another 5,000 years from, another 10,000 years from now. We don't want to be around. We don't want to be around. If it's getting that, if we're feeling it now, the challenges of this Kali Yuga. But there's a process. And the sages of Namasaranya, they saw that. They fast forwarded 5,000 years. And they saw, yes, the people of this age, they'll be very unfortunate. Manda Sumanda, Manda Bhagya, they're very unfortunate. They always disturbed in the mind. They are short-lived. They're lazy. These are the symptoms explained in the Bhagavatam. So what is the symptom? What is the solution? And the sages gave the answer. The topmost is one can take to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. One must take to loving devotional service unto the adoksaja, unto the Lord. And that must be ayatuki hapratiyata, unmotivated, uninterrupted. Yayatma suprasidati. That will completely give you full. One becomes fully satisfied. Yayatma suprasidati. So this was the answer given. The solution. One must take to transcendental loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. One must. Without unmotivated and uninterrupted. So this is the mood of the gopis. They were unconditionally. Yesterday I was telling a story to our class in the Vaishnava etiquette class. I was telling them how the gopis, and the story illustrates that when I first joined here, we used to have a lot of drama. Balaram, you remember? Drama. After the Sunday program, after 4 o'clock, it was very elaborate. We had nice, everything very nicely presented, and one such was the topic of that was Krishna has a headache. Krishna has a headache. So Krishna approaches Narad Muni and tells him, that only the dust of my devotee can cure my headache. So Narad said, where should I go? He said, you go see my devotees. So Narad, he went, and he met a yogi, he met a jnani, and he said, Krishna has a headache. So only the dust of your feet can cure his headache. And the Jnani said, no, no, no. I will go to hell if my dust touches the head of Krishna. So Narad, he went on, and next he went to the yogi. And the same response. Yogi said, no, I will go to hell. I will go to hell. Then, so Narad comes back and tells Krishna this. And Krishna, you go to my gopis, go to Vrajabhumi, and you ask them. And when Narad saw the gopis, and there was exchange, Narad's very exalted personality, and the gopis exchanged wonderful greetings. And so Narad said, yes, the Supreme Lord, oh, Krishna has a headache, and only the dust of your lotus feet, of your feet, can cure him. So the gopis knew the injunction, but they didn't care. They said, if the dust of my lotus feet cures Krishna's headache, then we are prepared to go to hell. This is unconditional. They didn't worry about going to hell as long as the Supreme Lord is feeling. So this is such expression of surrender and love that they were prepared to go to hell. So likewise, the devotees of the Lord, they come to the material world. The ambassadors, these great personalities come to the material. Material world is hell. Dukkhalayam. It is miserable. But they come nevertheless. They come on behalf of the Lord to reclaim those fallen, conditioned souls. And therefore they are glorified. They are glorified. Seemingly they're going through suffering. Externally, they're going through some external suffering. But deep inside, it's all there's such vipralamba, service in separation. They're serving in separation. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Is there any questions or comments? Shri Upadeshamrita ki, Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki, Shri Prabhupada's transcendental purpose. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.